But what's great about what I love about your thing is like there's part of comedy, and the good part of it is like sports, right? Like there's definite winners and losers, and like when you watch somebody on stage crush, you're like, they're fucking winning. They might not have the comedy you like, but as long as they're doing their own shit or whatever, it's like it's a win. It could be an ugly win. It might not be a win you agree with. It's a win. And what people don't understand about that process, that audition process, it's a fucking hard process. Mm-hmm. It gets in a lot of people's heads. And to make it through that and to get the fucking job says something. And there's a lot of people that were probably angry at you, number one, because they knew that they could not make it through that process.
Yeah.
They didn't even get selected for the process. But it's a like, what can you talk about what the process is?
Yeah, I can talk about my process. Like, I went, they saw me at JFL and Clusterfest with Comedy Central, and they were like, we want you to come in and test. So then you go in and you fucking audition on the main stage.
And what is that? What is that audition?
Usually you have to do like characters and impressions and shit.
Right.
But I think now they've loosened it to where like if you're a stand-up, you can just do stand-up.
Okay.
So I just did 5 minutes of stand-up.
And you're doing it to who?
Table of writers in that whole fucking empty studio.
In the whole big SNL studio, it's a table of
Lauren
writers.
Michaels.
Lauren, yeah.
And that's the first time I ever fucking saw him.
Yeah,
so
he's a kingmaker and yeah.
Yeah, and when you get there, you wait in the green rooms or like the fucking cast members' rooms.
Right.
So you're just in there waiting.
Right.
And for like 2-3 hours while every single person there auditioning goes through.
And that's what gets in people's head.
That gets in people's head.
That gets in your head because
And
this
it's
is the job in comedy.
It's intentional. That's why they do it, is to see if it gets in your head.
Right, because it's a live show. They put it on Saturday night. It's live.
Yeah.
So if you can't handle pressure or if you buckle, you can't be on the team.
And I was sitting there thinking, like, there's zero fucking chance I get this. So, like, I was like, okay,
you just
whatever.
having fun.
Didn't give a fuck.
Right.
Was just sitting in there.
Best attitude to have.
Dipping. Fucking chewing tobacco in the back.
Packing a lip.
Yeah, I had a lip in. I was just sitting there. And then when they brought me in, though, that's when it really fucking hit. Like, because they bring you to a separate green room where you sit while the other person before you is on. And they're like, all right, you got 5 minutes. And then it's like, oh, fuck.
And it's not like people are killing because there's just a
You can't even
table
you
of
couldn't see
writers.
anybody else. You couldn't see the room until you walk in.
Right.
I didn't even see the stage until I walked onto the stage.
Right.
So then you walk out in front of everybody, and it's this big empty room with 2 cameras. All right? And they give you the fucking camera guy goes 3, 2, you say your name and go.
Right.
And then you just get the fuck off the stage
after you did the set. Were you like, this is good?
After I did the set, well, I had heard you're not like people don't laugh,
right?
But they laughed the whole time during my set, so I was like,
good sign.
Yeah, I think this could.
Yeah.
And then when I got the call back, and I was like, fuck, I got it.
And what was the callback?
Callback was just to come in and meet all the writers and shit and producers.
Crazy.
It was wild.
Crazy.
And everybody was cool. Everybody was great. It was a fucking awesome. It was genuinely an awesome experience.
And it all worked out, and that's why you have dreams, because But that's a wild process, and I've heard a few people have gone through that, and I know some people have not had the auditions they've wanted to have, and some people have had good auditions, and it just still for whatever reason didn't work.
Yeah. Well, also the thing is like I mean, don't get me wrong, Saturday Night Live is fucking awesome.
Of course.
So like as soon as I got it, I was like, fuck yes.
Yeah.
But that was never on the agenda. Like I was just I knew I did this.
Right.
So I knew I was never gonna be fucking mainstream like that.
Yeah.
I would have to. I just wanted to do stand up.
Yeah. It's interesting that I feel like a few years ago, none of that was a consideration because nobody was doing like we were all kind of just waiting for people to give us a job.
Yeah.
Or write us a check. And now that's a little different. I don't know. It sucks that everything is this fucking fractured.
Yeah.
Because I look at people that are talented that I think are very funny, but then I'm like, because I do this and I'm in this camp.
Yeah.
And they're in that other camp. And I'm like, could we ever collaborate or work together? Because you're like over there and you think I'm like, in this camp of alt-right podcasters, which is completely insane and ridiculous. Yeah. And I think all of them, like those guys are social justice warriors, but that's also insane and ridiculous. Like
everybody's kind of afraid of each other, which is what
yeah,
it is.
It sucks.
I feel like they bully us. You know?
Yes.
Like, if I see them in public, I'm like, oh fuck, they're gonna, some of these comics with complete impunity could walk up to me at a comedy club and be like, "You piece of shit,"
right?
And everybody would be like, "Yeah, that's."
Yeah, man.
He's allowed to say that to you.
Yeah.
Or she's allowed to say that to you. It's like, okay.
Have you had an incident like that where somebody's been hostile openly?
No.
Right.
No, it's mostly passive aggressive.
It's like, as they say in like hip hop, it's like it's on wax.
Yeah.
It's not real.
It's not really.
This isn't real.
Same thing with Twitter. If you just delete Twitter, all the shit talk kind of
goes away.
Yeah, it's hard though. It's hard to stop looking.
It's hard to stop looking.
Shit talk.
Yeah, I try not to read YouTube comments or Reddit comments or any of that stuff, but you kind of get back into that fray.
Yeah.
Did you have any friends in your hometown that were happy? Because I would have friends, like my friends would be like, "Yeah, whoa, fuck it." Like most of my friends would be happier that I was embroiled in a national scandal than me getting a job. Because I'm from Long Island, so like SNL, they'd be like, "Whatever." National scandal, they'd be like, "Fuck yeah, yo, you see Tim?"
Yeah.
Like that, you know.
Yeah, definitely had that.
Yeah.
Definitely had. Yeah, I mean, fucking comic friends were like that.
Right.
There's definitely like there's a level of like
people who own this network were like that.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Yeah. And I have it too, so I'm not shitting on it.
Yeah.
Or at least I had it. Hopefully, I lost it a little. But where you kind of fucking, if you're not succeeding.
Yeah.
When someone else succeeds, you're like, "Ah."
Well,
and then when they get fucking brought down, you're instantly like, "I'm here for you."
Well, it also validates what a lot of people
Yeah.
believe. It's a shitty thing, but a lot of people are like, like a lot of people believe that the path we've all taken is the path, and none of us will have mainstream success. And then when somebody does, we're like, "Oh fuck." And then when somebody is yanked away, we're like, "See?" And it's, I get it. It's not even,
It'd be funny. If it happened to anybody else, I would definitely be laughing also. I was laughing and it happened to me. It was kind of funny the whole time.
It was one of those things. One of the reasons I was going so hard on Twitter against a lot of this shit is like, I tend to view it all as like, all of these people tweet about mental health every day and how important is self-care. And then they're trying to tweet you out of a window. They're trying to tweet you to kill yourself. And to me, like, the hypocrisy is so deep and thick. As a comic, I look at it and I'm like, this is wild. You guys are the tolerant ones that care.
All these comics that are these super tolerant, like woke, fucking nice, all these things.
Right.
They're the meanest fucking people I know.
Yeah.
Like Aaron Berg's the man.
Yeah.
He's like
Aaron Berg's a sweet guy. He's a sweet guy.
And then you'll run into like a fucking gay writer from some show that's just a dickhead.
That are angry.
Yeah.
Well, the thing that happened with the gay comedy scene, and I don't know when it happened, and I'm not a huge part of. I'm not at all a huge part of it.
Yeah, I always forget.
I'm no part of the gay comedy scene, and it's not. They just have no interest in me. I don't have a huge interest in them, but it's an insular scene. It's spun off from the alt scene. I will say this: in the queer comedy scene in New York, there's a little bit of talent, whereas in the alternative comedy scene, there's no talent. So it's a much better. But there's something going on now where people see that the route to success is to brand themselves as somebody with the right opinions. And the right opinions on your thing were like that. What you do is hate speech, or what we do, Legion of Skanks. Like, these guys are hate speech. Skankfest is Charlottesville. By the way, if they'd ever been near Skankfest, they would know that that's absurd. Yeah. But none of them have, because they're in this little scene and they don't go out and they don't know anybody and they don't know us. And to me, as a gay person, it was never interesting to me to just do a little scene of people in the East Village and entertain each other and entertain our friends. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to entertain as many people as I could because I'm a comic and that's my job. But I think the way that they look at me and they're like, oh, this is a guy with the wrong opinions.
Yeah.
Like Tim Dillon.
You're like Ben Carson.
Yeah, I'm like a Ben Carson.
Like, what the hell is he doing on that side?
Yeah, I think, but they all still respect me that I'm funny and I can do well in the rooms they work in because I work those rooms. So there's no argument. They can't say that I'm not funny or that I can't do well in Brooklyn because I can do well in all that shit. But I think they look at me and they're like, well, we don't really know where he stands, or we don't like where he stands, or whatever. But again, some of them message me privately. But what they don't realize is that the woke snake just eats itself.
Totally.
It'll eat itself.
Yeah.
And what I liked, gay guys used to pride themselves in being like tough, cynical, mean, catty, vicious. And then now they're moralists in this new, and drag queens are moralists, and it's boring. It's boring. The morality police is boring. That's why your Aunt Cheryl is not a comedian. It's like, because, she's like, Jesus saves. You're like, that's nice. Thank you.
Yeah.
Keep baking. That's fine. But nobody's going to pay money to see you in a nightclub, Cheryl. Like, so to me, drag queens, when you talk about politically incorrect shit, they used to say the most fucked up shit.
Yeah.
Some of it was brutally, brutally funny, so insanely un-PC. And now it's like they're afraid to say anything. And it's like, who wants a politically correct drag queen? Who wants a 6'3" guy dressed up in a dress with a crazy wig who's like, the most important thing
is to vote Democrat.
Is to vote for Elizabeth Warren. It's like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah. Party line.
Make fun of that Asian guy and be like, he's got a little dick. Like, that's
I don't know if I would do that.
Well, you wouldn't do it, but if I saw a drag queen not making I want race humor. I want lowbrow, like humor from a drag queen. I want lowbrow, not even good, not even particularly good, but just funny.
Yeah.
Like funny, like what the fuck am I even hearing? Humor from a drag queen. I don't want like some moral crusade. It would be insane. Like if Nanette was a drag queen, that would have been insane. That special for her to walk out.
Yeah.
And but I think it swings one way, it swings the other way. And some of those people are talented and whatever, but it is kind of funny that, it is what it is. It's some of those guys, I'll message them privately and they'll message me back. They'll be like, oh, you're very funny. One of them was like, I really enjoy your work or whatever. And then I'll be like, oh, cool. But again, there will be no public acknowledgement of that ever.
Yeah.
There'll be no public. Louis is a sweet guy.
Yeah.
People don't realize that Luis Gomez is actually a good person.
He is. He's
a
really
good
guy.
father.
Yeah.
He's like a good dude. I know a lot of woke people who've done nothing for their kids. Louis is like a good dude, and I think that like fucking people don't understand that either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he is shitty though too.
No, he's very shitty.
Very shitty.
He's shitty and good.
I love him.
He's a shitty,
he is
good
a sweet,
man.
Sweet guy, yeah.
But he's not a bad guy.
No.
Like these people think he's a hateful bad guy.
Yeah, but now he's doing that fucking thing with the glasses and the mustache.
Well, he looks like Hunter S. Thompson if he didn't read or write.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
Yeah,
it's not good to have a look. If you're
know,
like,
but it kind of.
Yeah, but if you're getting branded right wing, don't have a particular look.
Well, he just leans in. I mean, if they brand him as a furry, he'll walk around dressed like a rabbit.
True.
You know what I mean? Like he just leans in. If they were like, Louis is a furry, he'd be like, what up, doggies? Just with a big, dog ears flopping around. I mean, he would lean into it. If you need, go get a potato and put a Marlboro Light in its mouth and watch that and then press play on your phone.